Hello, I'm Tina Oelke and your instructor for PSYC263. Today we're going to get to discuss middle adulthood. We've made it through young adulthood and are now into middle adulthood. But what time frame does that cover? What changes happens during this life stage? During this mini lesson, we'll discuss some of the highlights of the physical and cognitive changes that occur during middle adulthood. 60 is the new 40. It isn't now how old you are, but rather how old do you feel? These type of questions suggest that age identity is younger than chronological age. The boundaries of middle age are being pushed upward. More people lead healthier lifestyles, and medical discoveries are holding off the aging process. Middle age is starting later and lasting longer. An increasing percentage of the population is made up of middle-aged and older adults, making rectangularization of the age distribution. But when does middle age occur? Middle adulthood is a developmental period that begins at approximately age 40 to 45 and lasts to about 60 to 65. For many, it's a time of declining physical skills and increasing responsibility, and awareness of the age gap, a time of transmitting something meaningful to the next generation, reaching and maintaining career satisfaction, and a time in which they can reassess their life's priorities. It can also be characterized by the deaths of their parents, of children leaving their home, becoming grandparents, and reaching for and maintaining retirement. The physical changes that occur in middle adulthood are usually gradual and include wrinkling and sagging of skin, appearance and aging of the aging spots, hair that becomes thinner and grayer, nails that become thicker and more brittle, and teeth that become more yellow. The height tends to shrink in middle age, which is due to a bone loss in the vertebrae. Many gain weight as the metabolism decreases and body fat increases. Middle adults simply can't eat as much as they did in young adulthood and maintain their weight. The frequency of accidents do decline in middle adulthood. However, a weakened immune system makes them more susceptible to colds and allergies. It also takes them longer to recover from colds. Chronic disorders, which were rare in young adulthood, increase in middle age. Men have higher rates of fatal chronic conditions such as heart disease, cancer, and strokes, while women have higher rates of non-fatal chronic conditions such as arthritis, varicose veins, and bursitis. There's been a link between stress and cardiovascular disease, as well as smoking, overeating, and not exercising. These chronic diseases are the main cause of death during middle adulthood, while men have higher mortality rates than women. Climacteric is the midlife transition in which fertility declines. In women, menopause is a time in middle age between the late 40s to the early 50s when the body's menstrual periods completely cease. It does not happen quickly. Perimenopause is a transitional phase and it usually takes up to 10 years. The most common symptoms are irregular periods, hot flashes, sleeping problems, mood changes, vaginal and bladder problems, decreased fertility, body and skin changes, and loss of bone. Hormonal changes happen in men as well. However, they do not lose the ability to father children. They do experience some decline in sexual hormonal level and activity between the ages of 35 to 65. This is due to a gradual reduction of hormones called andropause or male menopause. The symptoms can include problems in sleeping, memory, concentration, depression, anxiety, irritability, loss of energy, bone and hair loss, loss of interest in sleep, and erectile problems. Sexual activity occurs less frequently in middle adulthood, and middle-aged men are reported to be more interested in sex than women. Moving on to cognitive development, crystallized intelligence is an individual's accumulated information and verbal skills. It consists of knowledge gained through educational and cultural systems such as common vocabulary and math skills. This continues to increase during middle adulthood and even exceeds that of younger adults. The fluid intelligence is the ability to reason abstractly. It is comprised of the skills needed to transform and process information, such as abstract reasoning and perpetual speed. It may begin to decline in middle adulthood, but at a slow rate. Some cognitive functions peak during middle adulthood, while others do decline. The speed of information processing declines moderately during middle adulthood in that they're slower to push a button when they see a light by 1 second, which is not really very long. Memory declines may occur exclusively during the latter part of middle age or in late adulthood. Starting in late middle age, more time is needed to learn new information. In late middle age, working memory capacity, which is the amount of information that can be immediately retrieved and used, becomes more limited. Memory decline is more likely to occur when individuals do not use effective memory strategies like organization and imagery. Well, this concludes what we'll be covering in our PowerPoint mini lesson today. The reflective log asks you to suggest ideas for future research designed to advance knowledge on the concepts in the chapter, or to apply the material learned in the chapter to a current news issue or to experiences in your own life. I suggest that you not only consider the concepts that you heard on this presentation, but also what you've learned in the rest of the chapter. What did you think about newly defined age of a middle adult? What are your thoughts on the various physical and cognitive changes that a middle adult has to adapt to? Were you surprised by any? What have you seen in the news recently that you'd like to comment on as it relates to Chapter 15? There are a lot of ideas out there from Chapter 15 that I hope you have fun exploring, and I can't wait to read your logs.